Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm coming to you guys with a brand new YUGI Moto Shining Sarcophagus deck profile for you guys today. Holy smokes, Legacy of Destruction is absolutely insane. This is possibly the funnest tier 0 anime level deck. Time to show you guys my take on the brand new Shining Sarcophagus deck. Let's begin. Before we get started with today's deck profile, this video is powered by Supreme Pro. Make sure you guys visit tx1.com to get the best sleeves in the entire world. The sleeves that I'm using today is, of course, the SP Pinks. Oh, yeah. All the pro uses these sleeves, Pac, Jesse, you name it. You can become a pro too by using Supreme Pros. Make sure you guys visit tx1.com to get your pinks today. The whites are currently all sold out, but they'll be restocking soon, I promise. And you guys can also use the code PAC10 or Potato10 for 10% off the entire website. And also, Bonus Unity deck boxes is still available. We got a couple of these left, so if you guys haven't snagged one yet, make sure you guys go ahead and get one today at tx1.com. Ladies and gents, be a pro and use Supreme Pros. Let's get it. If you guys haven't seen yesterday's video on Yubel versus Shining Sarcophagus, make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. This is my take on the deck right here that I've been toying around with. The deck is just absolutely insane. First and foremost, Gadget Trio. I'm going to show you guys the starters first on the absolute necessary cards that you guys must play in the deck. And the first being is Gadget Trio. So what this card does, if this card is normal summon or special summon, you can add one Shining Sarcophagus or one spell trap card that mentions it directly from your deck to your hand. So this card searches the entire deck, which is Shining Sarcophagus. The deck does not function without Shining Sarcophagus, and the deck literally dies without seeing Shining Sarcophagus. So you want to get access to that card as quickly as possible, and that's why you're playing 3 copies of Gadget Trio. A secondary effect, if you are playing Stronghold, if this card is destroyed by battle card effect, you can set one Stronghold, the Hidden Fortress, directly from your deck. And you can use each of the following effects of Gadget Trio once per turn. Obviously, this is a Yugi card. It has all the gadgets on it. I'm not currently playing the Stronghold because it is a brick, and the deck, in my personal opinion, is designed to go second and just break your opponent's boards. Going first, the deck doesn't have a lot of combo plays. I see other people playing the Super Heavy Samurai engine. At that point, you'd rather play pure Super Heavy Samurais or pure Melodious. Next off, triple Shining Sarcophagus. Gadget Trio searches this, and what this card does is that it cannot be destroyed by monster effects. So Nightmare Phoenix, nice try. SP can obviously get rid of this. This is kind of annoying. Cannot be destroyed by monster effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Shining Sarcophagus once per turn. During your main phase, you can add one card that mentions Shining Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand, except for Shining Sarcophagus. So it searches any Shining Sarcophagus card. It can search Gadget Trio. It can search basically your entire deck. It can search any of the Shining Sarcophagus spells or traps. This card is amazing. And also has a secondary effect where it reads, if your opponent special summons a monster from the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can discard one spell, then target one of those monsters, send it to the graveyard. So like on the clapback, if they're using cards like Flamberg, Monster Reborn, and stuff like that, or cards like Promethean Princess, you can target one of those monsters, send it to the graveyard by discarding one spell, which is absolutely insane. So Shining Sarcophagus, absolutely insane, really powerful card. The deck does not work without seeing this card, so you must maximize yourself and actually playing 3 copies of this card in your deck. Next off, you're playing 3 copies of Future Silence. This card is absolutely insane. This card searches a monster that mentions Shining Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand. So this searches Gadget searches Shining Sarcophagus, which is amazing. And if you activate this card during the battle phase while you control Shining Sarcophagus and a monster that mentions it, each player draws until they have 6 cards in their hand. So the draw effect is pretty insane, but you kind of don't want your opponent to just draw 6 cards. Depends on how many cards you have in the hand. If you have like 5, you know, it's obviously worth it for you. You know, you can really keep your hand to very low resources. Activate this during battle phase, draw 6 cards, which is insane. But obviously, if your opponent has no resources and you have like 2 cards in their hand, them drawing 4 is just really insane, right? So obviously you don't want to do that. It searches Gadget Trio directly from the deck to hand, which is really strong. So show copies of Silence, and the bonus effect is just really powerful if it resolves. Next time we're playing the boss monster deck, we're playing Gandora G, the Dragon of Destruction. What this card does is that gains 300 attack for each banished card, so it's like Grin Manju, which is insane. And what it does is that you control Shining Sarcophagus, you can special summon this card from your hand, so it's a free summon, and you can pay half your life points, destroy as many other cards on the field as possible, and if you do, banish them. So it destroys, then banishes all of them, which is insane. Then you can special summon one level 7 or more monster that mentions Shining Sarcophagus from your deck and increases level by the number of cards destroyed by this card effect. So obviously, if you're destroying like 4, 5, 6 cards, the monsters will gain levels up to the number of cards destroyed, and with the new silent cards, it gains attack for each level that it modulates by 500 points, which is absolutely insane. But Gandora is just an amazing board breaker for the deck. Like, you go gadget, search Shining Sarcophagus, search Gandora G, blow up your entire board. Like, this card is just insane. The fact you're able to search this card every single turn makes this card absolutely devastating. So Gandora G, absolutely necessary to play in the deck. And last but not least, I'm playing 2 copies of Silent Magician Zero and the 1 copy of Silent Swordsman Zero. I went back and forth between 2 or 3, but I felt like this card isn't like an amazing starter. Like, it's not as nice as normal Summoning Gadget Trio, obviously, because this card isn't a trigger effect, although it's still a spell negate, which is not that bad. But I don't think you need 3 copies of this. Like, you can get away with playing 2 for sure. And your opponent draws a card, increases card's level by 1. Other than benefiting your opponent with Future Silence, this card will gain a huge attack if your opponent were able to draw so many cards. And also, on the bright side, it doesn't matter if they draw if you're going to kill them on their turn anyways, right, with Silent Magician Zero. While this card's level is higher than the original level, it gains attack equal to the difference times 500. So they draw in 6 cards, 6 times 5, 3,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, this card's insane. When your opponent activates a spell card or effect while you control Shining Sarcophagus, quick effect, you can negate the activation if you do, increase the card's level by 1. So Silent Magician Zero, amazing negate for the deck. And Silent Swordsman Zero is not as great as Magician Zero, but it stops targeting effects. And what this card does once per turn during the standby phase, increases card's level by 1. While this card's level is higher than its original level, it gains attack equals to the difference times 500, similar to Magician Zero. And when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets Shining Sarcophagus or a monster that mentions it, you can negate the activation, and if you do, increase the card's level by 1. So it's really good against cards like SP Little Knight. Obviously, whenever they try to target Shining Sarcophagus, you can just negate it, and that's why it's important to just play the 1-of in the deck. Like, you can't completely disregard it and cut this card. You still gotta at least play a 1-of because it works really well. It ties that bind, which is insane. So Zero, next card. This card is insane. Double copies of Turn Silence and 1 copy of Ties That Bind. Turn Silence is ridiculous. What this card does, a target 1 face of monster you control, increases level by 3. Also, you activate this card in response to your opponent's monster effect activation while you control Shining Sarcophagus and a monster that mentions it, negate that opponent's monster effect. So how basically this card works, like, they'll go SP banish Shining Sarcophagus. You can chain Turn Silence on target 1 of your monsters. SP will get negated, which is absolutely insane. So, like, you usually want to do this on, like, chaining 2 or higher, in chaining after your opponent would activate a monster effect, which is insane. And the last effect is that during the damage calc, if your monsters that mention Shining Sarcophagus battles, you can banish this card from the grave and the battle phase. So, like, against Tenpai, like, no, sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, end the battle phase. Ties That Bind, this card on paper is insane, but it requires a lot of requirements for it to be able to activate successfully, right? So, if you control Shining Sarcophagus and a monster that mentions it, so you have to control 2 things to activate this card. Especially an up to 2 level 4 or lower monster with different names that mention Shining Sarcophagus from your deck or deck. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can ask for some monsters for the extra deck. So it's really good with Gadget because you can go Gadget, search Shining, search this, activate Ties, bring out Magician Zero and Swordsman Zero, which is still pretty good. But going second, obviously, that isn't as strong unless you already open up with Gandora. Obviously, then you can just slap Gandora, blow up the entire board, which is still pretty good. Better off going first than it is going second, because at least you can set up like 2 negates, like, you know, Magician Zero and also Swordsman Zero. But you still gotta at least play 1, in my personal opinion. Like, this card isn't like the best card, but when it resolves, it's pretty nice. But Turn Silence is more insane, in my personal opinion. So that's pretty much it for your engine. I'm playing 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. There's not a lot of Omni negates now. Pot of Extravagance will most likely resolve unless your opponent were to ash this. So free, draw 2 cards, baits and your opponent's ashed into cards like Thrust and stuff like that while going second. You always want to go second in this deck. So Extravagance just becomes like a Pot of Greed for the deck, which is really good. You rarely go into the extra deck. Next off, with board breakers, I'm playing triple copies of Fenrir. Fenrir is actually really good going first as well. Like, Fenrir, search Fenrir, set up, of course, the zeros, and sometimes with 1 Fenrir and cards like Droplet or a couple hand traps can easily just win you the game and stuff like that. Or Fenrir with like Dogmaticas on the field, or like Fenrir with Punisher on the field is still pretty strong. This card's amazing at board breaking, and it's just like more fodder for cards like Forbidden Droplet in the deck as well, right? Which is insane. So 3 Fenrir is nice. Remember, guys, this deck is designed to go second, so you always want to go second. Next off, for your extenders, you're playing 2 copies of Magician Souls and 1 copy of Illusion Chaos. I like this because you're playing a bunch of spells. You can just easily send them to the graveyard, multiple of the same names to draw cards. Sending Turn Silence to the grave is also kind of nice if you want to see more draw cards, which is really good. It conflicts with Extravagance, but obviously Extravagance has to resolve. If it doesn't resolve, you still have access to Magician Souls to help you draw more cards, which is still pretty nice. And going second helps you get access to Dark. Dark's still a monster, make Selene access code. This card in Fenrir right here helps eat hand traps before you commit into your Shining Sarc plays, right? Without having to rely on your normal summoning to do anything else other than get Gendora, right? So these cards just here, like Otis with Fenrir and like Gadget, if you open that going second, you can basically break any board, which is really strong. So next off, for more board breaking, triple copies of Droplet. Droplet is just absolutely insane. I love this card. This card is really strong. One of the best board breakers in this entire format right now. So versatile. You have a bunch of cards in your hand while going second. Like you have Extravagance and stuff like that. Help you draw more cards. Helps you get rid of duplicate cards. You know, you search Fenrir. You know, Fenrir. You ditch another Fenrir. Like Fenrir, search Fenrir. You can use Droplet to send off Fenrir. Any other cards help you break the boards. Because your entire goal of this deck is to make sure Gendora G resolves, right? Like as long as Gendora resolves, you win the duel. All right. So Droplet just helps you break boards against those like pesky like negate decks and Apollosa and stuff like that. Droplet is just really nice. Next off, I'm playing double copies of Tactics Thrust. Like I play 3 if I had a third, but I obviously don't have a third. So 1 heart piece for a Feather Duster. You're always going second. Change your heart, just versatility, and of course triple Tactics Talents right here. Just like great thrust targets, I guess. Really good cards right here. Another card that Thrust can search is also Nadir Servant, which is really nice. This card's like a board breaker going second as well because Nadir Servant send Entis. Pop a card, search Ecclesia, summon Ecclesia, search Punishment. If you can't win and break that board, you still at least have Punishment Gendora, right? Which is still really strong. So Nadir Servant is just really nice to help board break, which is really good. The one Ecclesia, the one Fleur de Lis, and last but not least, the one Dogmatica Punishment for the mini Dogmatica engine that I'm playing in this deck right here. So these cards are just like really, really strong. You know, going first is obviously strong as well, but going second is just even more insane. Ladies and gents, off to the extra deck for next season. I'm playing 1 Baguska and also 1 Typhon right here. Nothing really need to explain. If 2 of your monsters can stick, you can easily make Baguska against a 10-pie matchup and just win the duel. Next off, for the links, Dark Charmer, SP, Selene, Artemis, of course, Tri-Brigade, Arm, Bucalypse, Goddess, Access Code right here, and the 1 Lina. Really good. Honestly, guys, you'd be surprised. There's so much more light targets now for Lina. In this format, like Veilers, everybody's playing. You can also target like your opponent's Selene, you know what I'm saying? Like a bunch of light monsters that that you can use now, which is still pretty good. Of course, more your targets for Nadir, Santa Clyde, the Ash Dragon, Aurora, and I'm playing triple copies of Elder Entity Entis right here to round off for all the cards that I'm playing in the extra deck. So that's pretty much it. Let's go on with some of the combos you guys can do with this deck. So some basic combos. Like this deck is really easy to play, and it's really easy for you guys to pick up and learn. So let me show you guys some bread and butter combos you guys must know when it comes to playing this deck right here.
Unity Double Deck Box. Holographic design inside and out. Each deck box includes 3 leather dividers, 1 metal field center, and 1 TSX1 attribute dice. Get your limited deck box now at tsx1.com.
The whole entire deck is focused on getting access to Shining Sarcophagus. So the 1-card combo is obviously Gadget Trio or Future Silence. Before we begin with the combo, be sure to get your SP pinks today in the link down below at tx1.com. Best sleeves in the entire world. Look how beautiful these sleeves are. And obviously alongside with the playmats and stuff like that. Absolutely insane, guys. And the Easy Glide. Look at that. Easy Glide. You know what I'm saying? Like the best sleeve. The best sleeves in the entire world, guys. Make sure you guys get the bundles. You guys will save a lot of money. And use code POC10 for 10% off additionally, which is crazy. Okay, so Gadget Trio. So what can you do? So first and foremost, you know, normal summon Gadget Trio. Activate Trio's effect. Right here. There's a lot of different routes you can go towards. You can go Shining Sarcophagus effect. Going second, obviously, you can search for Gendora G. Right here, which is really good. So search Gendora G. Then you can summon Gendora G right here. Activate Gendora G's effect. Banish the entire field. I'm not going to use this banish zone here because it's a huge glare there, guys. So I'm just going to put the banish zone over here. But there is a banishment zone here. So just that you guys know, all mats have that. Banish everything. If you play Stronghold, you can search Stronghold, which is still really good. And then you can special summon right here directly from the deck. Summon Silent Magician 0 right here, which is really strong. And depending on how many cards you destroyed, this will gain levels equal to the card destroyed. This card right here, depending on how many cards banish, it will gain 300 attack for each. If you use Extravagance, this will be at 18 plus whatever card you destroy, which is really good. And you can just easily swipe your opponent, deal damage. And if you've, obviously banished enough cards alongside Extravagance, you can easily just OTK your opponent from here on in, right? So it's just like a, very basic combo to go second, like this, search this, blow up your entire board. And that's what you're trying to do, right? Like bait everything out, use all your non-engine to crack your opponent's board, and then summon Gendora to just sweep up everything at the end, which is still really, really strong. And also at the end as well, you can just make SP Little Knight as well, which is still really strong. As long as your Shining Sarcophagus sticks, you just win the duel next turn, which is absolutely insane. So that's just like a really like standard 1-card combo. There's also like a different route where you can just go normal summon Gadget Trio effect going first, go Sarcophagus, Sarcophagus effect, search the ties that bind, okay, and you activate ties that bind. Of course, you control Gadget Trio. You're going to summon here and here, and this is like what you can do going first. This isn't strong at all, but obviously it's at least something, which is off 1 card. So 1 card, convert yourself into 4 cards, so it's a +3, right? Which is insane still. This board is not strong at all. It's not strong. That's why I think going second is just more beneficial for a deck like this. Let's do a test hand, you know, but a combo is really linear, very like basic. So for those of you who are like playing this deck for the very first time, you guys will understand how to easily play this deck like right away. Like there's no like crazy like snake eye combo that you guys must know, you know what I'm saying? So all right guys, let's draw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hand going second is freaking ridiculous. Like your opponent can do whatever they want. They can literally do whatever they want. Like it doesn't matter. You just go draw. This hand is actually just ridiculous. Actually, this hand is so good. I'm gonna go like you can go like summon Fenrir, activate Fenrir effect. You just like bait out a bunch of cards here, like Fenrir effect here. You can just search another Fenrir, of course, here, right? And then you're just playing with this for now. Now what you can do is that you can just eat more cards, right? You can go like Near Servant here. You send like Entis to the grave. You can add Fleur de Lis. Right here is insane. Activate Entis effect here. Pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, which is really strong. And then you can special summon this. You always can have something from the extra deck. You know, obviously this requires your opponent to have a card from the extra deck. So you can special summon Virtuous, activate effect. Right here you can search Punishment, which is really strong. Remember guys, these cards have all potential to get like Ash or Imperm and stuff like that, so that way that your Future Silence can resolve. Like that's your entire goal, right? And even if Future Silence gets resolved, you have Shining Sarcophagus as well, right? Then you can go Future Silence effect here, activate Future Silence. You can search, I'll search Gadget Trio. Then I go Gadget Trio here, effect. Honestly, I'll just search Turn Silence. This card's insane. Then you can go activate, you know, Shining Sarcophagus here, right? Insane. Search Gendora G. Okay, and then you special summon Gendora G. Like, blow up the entire board right here. Obviously, like, if it's better to attack, you obviously attack, but, you know, this is just like a board clear. Just clear the board. Activate effect. And if they were going to try to stop this, you can change Turn Silence as well, which is really good to ensure that this effect always goes through, which is really strong, right? This right here, it blows up the entire board, summons here Silent Magician level 7 or Magician 0, depending on how many cards you blew up and how many cards banished. So far you know that you have 3 cards banished. Depending on how many cards that they have banished as well, these cards will be, you know, different stats. Obviously you can enter the battle phase, attack, you know what I'm saying, just do more damage. And then you can set Turn Silence right here, and also Punishment here to just help ensure that you're going to be alive next turn. So that way that you can use Gendora G's effect once again, right? So depends on how many cards you banish. You can potentially just kill them. Because right here, already 3 cards pop. This will gain 3 levels, so we'll gain 1500. So it'll be at 25. And you can also Turn Silence to give it 3 more levels, which is really strong. So it would be 8 levels, 8 times 5, 4,000. 4,000 plus 1,000 plus 5,000. And this will require 7 more cards to do exact lethal in this current situation, right? Because you have 3 banish. If you have cards like Extravagance to banish, you know, you're obviously gaining more attacks with Gendora, obviously, as well. And if you banish at least, like, let's say 3 cards off your opponent, that's just more attack off Gendora G, right? Which is still really good. And then this card right here, Turn Silence, can end your opponent's battle phase to ensure that Shining Sarcophagus can stick, which is really good. Also, if they try to revive anything from the grave, Shining Sarcophagus deals with that immediately, which is really strong. And you also have Punishment, which is insane. So on Punishment, send Entis, pop 2 cards right away alongside Silent Magician, 0 Negate, and this card's Disruption for any graveyard summoning abilities, right? Which is really strong. So Yeah, so this is the deck list, guys. You know, just like a mini test hand on what you guys can do with this deck. This deck is just straightforward, and every hand and every scenario, every scenario is obviously different. But obviously, like you want to go second in this deck because you're gonna be more successful than breaking boards than actually making a board, because this deck can't really make boards, right? So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this mini test hand segment of the video and combos you guys must know when it comes to playing this deck. Let me know your thoughts about this anime level deck right here. Be sure to get your SP pinks today in the link down below at tx1.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys later this week for more Yu-Gi-Oh deck profiles. All right, guys, peace.